How's everybody?
Great.
All right, cool. Welcome everybody. Let's start with I think we probably should do a little bit of bucket filling. What do y'all think about that? Yes. This is gonna get awkward. Come on. What's the bucket fill? Not a single bucket fill. I need to start it out. Is that what I'm hearing? All bucket fill. Everybody that made 2020 an awesome year. I think we had a ton of challenges, but for sure, I think the year turned out to be outstanding. Anybody?
Hey, Diane, what you doing? What you doing?
Let's everybody mute if you're not on the screen here. Seriously, no bucket fills?
I have a bucket fill.
What do we got?
Jacob Johnson, because we're in the process of doing something really, really, really cool and exciting, and he took something huge that was on my plate and made it look easy that I would not have known how to do without him. So thank you, Jacob.
That's awesome. Thanks for that, Jacob. Yeah, Jacob's been doing he's one of our tech people. If you haven't hooked up with Jacob, he's definitely somebody you want to hook up with, he or Danny. It's creating huge strides for us as far as the technology and service to the agents. So we definitely want to thank them. Who else? Bucket Phil.
Down here.
Well, Tim Johnson put in the chat, he's bucket filling Matt Jernigan for doing an amazing job filling in for Hannah. Yay!
Good job, Matt Jernigan. That's awesome. Yeah, we've had I really feel quite lucky to have Matt as part of our leadership team, covering some stuff for Hannah while she's out. It's been outstanding, and we definitely want to thank Matt for really pouring in. I mean, he didn't go through a warm-up phase. He jumped right in. Lots of great ideas. So thank you for that, Matt, for sure. Who else we got?
I got can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Hi. For me, it was John and Natalie Malice that were awesome. As a new realtor, I got the curse of the COVID right after, just after I, did all the training and all of that.
AirPod Pros, you
but
had
luckily I've had some deals, and but for the help of John and Natalie have been there with me to very diligently if I had questions to get me through it. They were fantastic. So I appreciate that help, and it made it possible for me to be able to succeed during this period.
That's awesome. Thank you for speaking up on that. And you for sure got in on a year that was we'll call it a pivot year. It was a little challenging, non-traditional, but there's been a lot of things in it for sure. Who else? Any other bucket fills?
I'm gonna send a shout out to Greg Eskrit, who responded to a request for advisors out of the South Business Center. I put a plate in the mail for you because you're always stepping up to it.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
That's awesome. All right. So as you know, we break our team meetings up into different formats. Today's format is a guest speaker. And to be honest, we kind of, I won't say we lucked out, because she was gracious enough to show up for us and give us a little bit of wisdom. Linda McKissack is joining us, and I'm going to call her the queen of passive income.
I'll take that name. I love it.
Linda's amazing, and she it's a treat for us. Linda's typically on stage when I see her speak. I think this is an amazing opportunity to get somebody that's been a trailblazer, and I love hearing her story and having her share that with y'all. So she's a top real estate trader in the world, bunch of long-term rental properties. I think we got market centers, commercial buildings. I think we had a little bit of little bit of everything.
Yep. We are multifaceted entrepreneurs.
No, this is that Zoom meeting. I'm just trying.
Awesome. All right, so we're all learning Zoom still. So
Gotcha.
Linda, I'm going to kind of leave this open. I don't want it to be a rigid format, and just wanted to open it up for you and introduce you to the Keller Williams family here in Asheville. We're all super happy to have you.
Well, I'm super happy to be here. So thank you. I appreciate it. My name is Linda McKissack. Like you said, I've been with Keller Williams, I think it's like 28 years, maybe more, joined in 1992. But let me go back a little bit before that so that you can understand why I get labeled the queen of passive income, or, somebody who's a freedom junkie and loves teaching people how to create freedom of their time, money, and relationships. In the late 80s in Texas, what happened is the economy crashed, and I think it affected 3 states really bad. It may have affected you guys even, but it was Texas, Arkansas, and Oklahoma. And what happened is our economy was built on real estate, oil and gas, and savings and loans, and they all kind of went belly up, if you will. I always like to say I was 23 years old at that time. I didn't know what the word economy meant, much less whether it's a good one or a bad one. But my husband, who had not been married to for that long, a few years, owned restaurants and nightclubs. And I'm back in college, because I didn't go to college right out of high school. No one in my family ever went to college. So going to college just didn't even enter my mind when I got out of high school. I just got jobs. But I very quickly realized that the jobs that I could get would only pay about minimum wage. And so therefore, I was back in college due to my husband's suggestion that maybe I just go back to college and go to college and try to figure out who are you and what can you do. So I was in the middle of doing that when this economy crashed. And I knew, like I said, I didn't know what the word economy meant hardly, but I knew something was wrong because my husband started not wanting to go to sleep at night. And the reason he didn't want to go to sleep at night is because he said when he went to sleep at night, the morning came too soon. And when morning comes, bankers call when you owe money. And he hated those banker calls that he would get early in the morning. And so he would eventually, come clean with me and let me know that what had happened was we had a nightclub in Dallas, Texas, where we were trying to go big. We had always stayed in our local town, which was Denton, Texas, which was college town. And we took all of our money we had and all the money he could scrape up. And we went to Dallas to try to make it big in what we call like a mini Dave and Buster's, if you've ever seen one of those. And what happened is that, we didn't make it. And so we had to sell the business for $600,000 less than we owed against it. Now, the good thing about being 23 and not knowing what the word economy means, you also don't know how much actually 600,000 really is. And so because I didn't know of that, I think it kept me from like jumping off a cliff or something. And so because it was over my head, I didn't know what to even try to do to help. He said to me, I need you to go to work and help me, get out of this. And I said, well, I'm a hard worker. I mean, most of my life I've had 2 jobs, but I've never made more than minimum wage. And I said, this is my only time in 39 years with my husband to ever say, what do you think I should do? Usually I get up every day and I do what I think I should do. But because I was so overwhelmed, I didn't know what to do. And I had the foresight and the wisdom to look at him and say, well, I'm a hard worker, but what in the world am I going to do to make enough money to help with something like this? And he said, I had a mentor a long time ago. And that mentor told me all through Pee Wee football, he would pick him up across town and take him to play football. He told me that if you ever want to make a lot of money, real estate is the way to do it. Now, Jimmy and I laughed today because I don't think that man meant, you know what, get a wife, get her to selling houses. You guys are going to be rich forever. I don't think that's what the man meant. Matter of fact, I've since figured out who that man was. And he was actually a real estate developer and investor in Dallas. So I think what he was trying to tell Jimmy to do was invest or develop or something like that. But you know how the messages get lost along the way. And to be honest with you, the student only hears what they're ready to hear, right? And his capacity was only ready to hear real estate in general. So I said, okay, how do you do real estate? And he said, well, they'll take some of your college courses. And at the time, that's what they would do. And then you'll take a few more courses and then you pass a test and you do real estate. And I'm going to tell you guys, I didn't even know what a realtor did. I didn't know one single realtor. I lived with a family that had never owned their own home. when we bought our first house, we didn't use a realtor because we bought it from the for sale by owner. I didn't even know what realtors did, right? But it sounded good. It sounded like a great idea. And so I got in and started doing real estate, and I made $3,000 gross my first year. And Jimmy said, this is super gross because I got $600,000 worth of debt. It cost me 15 for you to make 3. This is not the direction we need to be going. And so, but there was something about real estate. I think our souls begin to talk to us at a very early age if we start to listen. And I remember, when I got out of high school, a friend that I had worked with at the Dairy Queen, her husband worked at GTE. And so he got me a job at GTE. And I remember when I would go into that job at GTE, I always say I was probably the worst employee they ever had, but I would go into that job and I hated that I had to go in at 8 and get off at 5 and only had a lunch break and 2 small breaks. You would not believe the crap I would try to cram in on my breaks or my lunch. And it just began to feel like chains that I couldn't explain to anybody. And now don't get me wrong, I had jobs all through high school, but they were flexible jobs. Someday you go Tuesday at 2 to 4, and on the weekend you go from 5 to 9. I mean, these were jobs that they weren't every day and they weren't this rigid schedule. So that was the beginning of my heart and my soul to say, Linda, freedom is what is important to you. And I didn't know what to call it back then, but I knew it was something inside of me that was telling me I needed to not have that 8 to 5 job. And so I did. I quit the job. And I always like to say, I got into real estate where you go in way before 8 and you get off way after 5. But there was something about that, because I was deciding, and I was going to get to decide how much money I made, even though it looked like I wasn't going to make that much in the beginning. I knew if I could ever get around people and classes and things that would show me the way, I'd figure it out. And back then, guys, there was no Keller Williams. So there was not an office with training. Literally, if you got any training, it was a week before you started, and then you never got any more. There was no ongoing training. And so literally I am just scrambling, trying to figure out how to do this business. So I did get my legs under me, and I did eventually do 200 transactions a year, year after year, after year, after year. But I'm going to tell you guys, in the beginning, the pain of going through that, and I always like to say this, and COVID might be this for a lot of us, the tragedies and the things that happen in our lives that seem so terrible at the time, if we give them long enough, and we pull out the lessons from them, and we do something about those lessons, they will turn into the greatest blessings you've ever had. And that's exactly what happened with us. Because the pain of going through that, we had to sell our cars. We downsized to beat up cars. We had to watch our money. I always like to say, when you're in financial trouble, it's never a marriage enriching situation. When your spouse comes home, you don't say, hey dear, how was your day? You say, what are we going to do for money? And it's a fight all the time about money. I'm just really thankful and blessed that my marriage survived it, to be honest with you. But what we realized is we needed to find the answers. And if the answers were out there, we need to figure out who are the people that when markets crash or COVID happens or life happens, because life, if you live long enough, life will happen. Who are the people that those kind of things don't impact the way they impacted us? And so we started reading books. That was the first thing we knew to do, is to read books. So we picked up a great book, and it's the second book written by Robert Kiyosaki, called Cash Flow Quadrant. And in that book, we saw and we realized that there are wealthy people, which represent about 5% of the population. And then there's the rest of us at 95%. And so what we needed to do is figure out what were those wealthy people doing that we weren't. And what we discovered is, if you look at it like a quadrant, on the left side was employees and self-employed people. And by the way, as realtors, we're all self-employed. And then on the right side of the quadrant is business owners and investors. And what we had to do was, at the time, 100% of our money was coming from self-employed. Because remember, my husband was in the restaurant and nightclub business, and I'm a realtor. So that's all 100% self-employed. What we needed to do over the next ever how many years it took is move that income to as much as we possibly could coming from the right side of the quadrant, which means we had to own businesses. And Robert Kiyosaki says there's only 3 ways to build wealth: businesses, stocks, and investments. Now you got to understand where we were at that time. We were pretty burnt out about businesses. So the last thing we wanted to do was run out and open another restaurant. So I got busy selling real estate, started doing fairly well at that, where there was cash flow coming. And we said, okay, we don't want to do stocks because neither one of us wanted to learn about stocks. And what we learned from the crash in the late 80s in Texas is anybody who had speculated, and by the way, 2008, 2009, if you look at all the people that lost all their money, they were speculators. They weren't true investors. A true investor knows the investment, they understand the investment, and they don't buy based on appreciation. They buy because it's a good deal the day they buy it. So we said, okay, look, we don't want to do stocks because neither one of us want to learn enough about it. And if you don't want to learn enough about something, you're just giving your money to somebody else. And that's speculation. And that's where all the risk lies. So we said, nah, on the stocks. And then the other thing we looked at was, well, we don't want to do any businesses right now because we're climbing our butts out of a big old hole that a business got us in. So I just started selling real estate, and we said, well, what about real estate investing? Surely to God, since I'm selling real estate, we can learn how to do real estate investing. So sure enough, that's what we did. We wrote a business plan, and our freedom number was 250,000. That was our original freedom number. And we worked it backwards and said we needed to buy 20 properties. And when they were free and clear in 20 years, they would throw us off somewhere around 250,000. And that was really our original game plan. And we gave ourselves 5 years to buy the properties. And that was kind of our plan. Well, right away, I went out because I truly believe this is what happens, guys. When you make a commitment and you make the commitment to do something like this, I truly believe the good Lord will put the opportunities in front of you. You just got to figure out how to make them come to life, right? And so that's what happened. Right away, I ran across a deal on a listing appointment where the person only wanted to sell to an investor, had major problems. I went home all excited to Jimmy about the opportunity, and he immediately poo-pooed it. He immediately reminded me we were broke and couldn't go to the bank. And so this is a gift that I think we all have. I just think you just kind of say a prayer, you go to sleep, and you say, put the people in my life that I need to make this happen. And that's what happened. I woke up the next morning and Lou Craft was the name on my tongue. And Lou Craft had been a builder that I had worked with for 3 or 4 years. He knew me, I knew him. I wanted him to win. He wanted me to win. And I just went to him and said, Lou, I need you to do this deal with us. I think we can make $15,000 if you fix it up, and we'll pay you to fix it up. I'll throw my commission in the deal. That's all I got. If you'll do the rest, we'll do this deal and we'll make 15,000. And sure enough, we made 15,000 to the penny. And almost to the day that we sold it, an agent in my office was handling foreclosures. Back then were called RTC properties because they were through savings and loans. And she had an RTC property come up and she said, Linda, I know you guys are wanting to do investments because you should tell everybody you know what you're trying to do so that the world and other people can help you. And so she said, I know you're trying to do that. And this property is $15,000 and it's located a few blocks from the campus. So we immediately loaded Lou in the car and said, don't spend that money yet. Let's look at this house. And we asked him to partner with us on that one also. He immediately said, I think I can turn this into a fourplex, which he did. That house is paid off free and clear today. And it brings us in more money than my husband's Social Security does for 40 years of work. So we wound up buying another property with Lou, and then eventually we were going to split up our partnerships because it was never meant to be a long-term thing. And we let him pick which property he wanted, and he picked the third property that we bought, which was over by another college. And we both got one property out of the deal, and we flipped one. So there's always a way once you make a decision on whatever it is you're going to do. And so fast forward, the pain of that is still there, but now I'm starting to make more money in real estate. And one day I had one of those really, like horrific days in real estate. And if you haven't had one of these yet, I know one of you on here is brand new, so you might not have had yours yet, but you will. It's such a bad day that you literally go into the drawer wherever you stuck that resume and you pull it out and you literally look at it and say, what in the world else can I do besides this? Well, I did that. And very quickly I was reminded that that resume got me minimum wage. And so I very quickly put it back in the drawer and said, okay, I'm going to give this real estate thing a little bit longer, but I am going to work harder on building my passive income because I want to do this business because I want to, not because I have to. And so that being said, I went to, by this time I'm with Keller Williams. I'm doing 200 transactions a year. I used to think 50 more houses or 100 more houses was going to solve all my problems. And I realized real quick that that's not the case. And so anyway, I said, okay, y'all been trying to make me understand this profit share. Now I've been with Keller Williams 4 years, and I would not let him talk to me about profit share. It sounded hoaxy. I didn't think I needed it because I was buying investment properties and because I was selling a lot of houses. So why would I need this profit share thing that sounds like I don't know what. So I went to someone and said, okay, I'm ready to hear about profit share. And here's the thing, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to set a big goal to do it. And I'm going to try to go big with it. So if I wanted to make $1 million, what do I need to do? And this person said to me, and I said, hey, if you need to go work on this a couple of weeks and get back to me, no problem. And I'll never forget, he immediately said, I don't need to do that. The truth is, I already know. You need to go get 20 people, help 20 people get 20 people, and get 5,000 people in your total tree. I put that into my little Nokia phone, and every time my phone flipped up, I saw that message every day. Okay. So a couple of things here. One, put your number together, put your plan together, put it somewhere where you can look at it every single day. And until you reach that number, you've got more work to do. So, I then fast forward a few months later, Gary Keller has always met with his top producers. That's something he's always done. And in the beginning, there wasn't very many of us. I was the number one producing agent inside Keller Williams. And there was about 20 of us in his mastermind. And he challenged us one day to all go do a pro forma on a standalone business besides your real estate business. We were talking about creating multiple streams of income, which I'd already had a business coach tell me that we probably needed about 7 streams of income eventually. So I was already irritated by the fact that I only had a couple. I had real estate investing and I had my real estate team, but that was it. And the team would go away the minute I did because I had not heard of 7th level at that time. Gary had not totally worked with me on that yet. So he goes around the room. I'm sitting in the very last seat. We were in a U-shaped table and I'm the very last one and everything's been taken. Mortgage, title, insurance. I'm sweating. I don't know what am I going to pick? There is nothing left. And I don't know if it was him or Dave Jinks, but one of them leaned over to me and said, well, Linda, you've been wanting to understand our profit share better. Why don't you do a pro forma? If you treated our profit share as a standalone business, what could that look like? And anything sounds good 4 months from now, anything. You just say, sign me up 4 months from now. Heck yeah, that's eternity away. And then I immediately started sweating because I'm like, I don't even know where this profit share money comes from. How am I going to do a pro forma and stand in front of my group and not look like an idiot? So I immediately reached back out to someone else and said, look, I need help. I got to put a pro forma together. So I'll teach your agents how to build a team, how to take 200 listings a year, how to turn your business over, whatever you need me to do. So just help me put a pro forma together and help me understand it. And so anyway, sure enough, he did. I put up together a pro forma and I was very convicted after I did that pro forma, to be honest with you, because I realized that this was a huge opportunity. And if I was going to be a leader in this company and I didn't take advantage of it, I wasn't going to be a very good leader. And if I wasn't going to show other people what the opportunity was. So I knew I needed to prove it myself. So I went to work in that plan. And so I came over the years, which you guys are perfect timing because we actually are launching the Profit Share Mastery online course for anybody who's interested in really being serious about this. And it's going to be launching next, I think the 13th, whenever that is, maybe in a week or so. And what it's going to put every bit of this in there, but I'm going to give you the formula and I'm going to tell you as much as I can in the time that we have about it, so that you'll know whether it's something you're interested in or not. But in there, I realized that the formula, looking back now, we've realized that the formula I used to build my profit share to $1.5 million a year is exactly the same formula I used to build my real estate practice to 200 transactions a year. And so if somebody's got a pen, it's this. So it's capital R. Maybe somebody can put this in the chat. Capital R, if you go back to your high school days, I barely remember anything from high school. I only made A's in PE, but I do remember that I think this was an algebra formula. But capital R plus capital V plus another capital V with a line under that and a capital T at the bottom. So it's like a formula if you would have to do math or algebra, which thank God we don't, but that's the formula. And I'm going to tell you what those mean. So when you're going to build your profit share or any business, let's just your real estate business or any, V is in Victor, V is in value. So R plus V plus V. Sorry, that's probably my accent. And plus I had oral surgery yesterday, so I'm not talking super clear. R plus V over T. So R stands for relationship. Who do you want to be a hero to? Because here's the thing, if we don't love the people that we're trying to serve, we're not going to enjoy doing it. We're not going to want to do it forever. And so I learned very quickly, there are people that give me energy and there are people that suck my energy. So I want to hang and do with the people that I can get energy from. And so that's how you pick who's on your relationship. So, and here's what I tell everybody, don't pick more than 5 people because you can't go deep with more than 5. I have never had more than 10 people on my board at any time. So, and what I find is I tend to focus better on 5. So don't pick more than 5. Think about who you already enjoy helping. What's that production level of an agent that you actually feel like you can add value and help. And we make our list, and that's what we're going to do in the course. I'm going to help you pick who you put on your list. And then the next one is, what's your validity? Because the reality is this, guys, if you're not valid to someone, they're never going to allow you to have a deep relationship. So let me go back to relationships in a minute. For those of you that don't know who to pick, let's do this. Pick a few above your production, a few at your production, and a few below your production. Because, and the reason I want you to pick a few above your production is because I'm going to teach you how to be valid to those people, even though they produce a little bit more than you do, right? Because we have a lot more tools. Because validity is the lessons you've learned, the experiences you've had, the books you've read, the failures you've had become great validity. Your successes, the things you need to be accomplishing right now. If those of you that are on this call really need to lean into lead generation this year, that's going to become your validity with someone else. Yeah. And I'm going to teach you how you do that, because most people don't try to build their profit share tree, I think, because they think it's either or. Either I got to build my real estate business or I got to build my profit share. And I'm going to tell you, we're going to wake up every day and do it all together, because God only gave all of us 24 hours. He didn't give me 48 and he didn't give you 24. So if he only gave us 24, we have to multiply and triple the amount of return we get on that time. And so we're going to teach you how to do and build your profit share, not either or. Okay. And part of that's going to be, it will help you with your validity, because you're going to invite people into your world and into your life, and it's going to become accountability for you. So here's what I say about validity. Everybody has it. Nobody thinks they do, but everybody has it, right? So we're going to help you shell through what is validity? What is my validity? What could I use? All right. And then the last V is, what is their value gap? And here's the thing. Zig Ziglar said it best when he said, you're going to get what you want out of life by just helping enough other people get what it is they want. And the key part of that sentence that most people miss is, what do they want? And you don't know until you start a conversation with somebody and learn to ask the right questions to figure out what those value gaps are. And here's a real good story to bring this home for you. If you had been trying to recruit me to Keller Williams a long time ago when I joined, I was the #1 agent in my city. From the outside looking in, you would have thought, man, I got it all together. She doesn't need anything. And the thing you probably would have grabbed onto first is, well, look, Linda, you're paying that company you're with $100,000 this year to be with them, which I was. And you would have thought that would have been the reason I should have joined Keller Williams, but you would have been sadly mistaken, because my #1 value gap, had you bothered to get to know me and ask me the right questions, was that I had been trying to build a brand that when in Denton, Texas, people thought about real estate, they thought about me, and my company kept putting roadblocks in front of me every time I tried. So what you would have had to help me, not tell me, not sell me, but help me self-discover, because people don't do what we tell them. They only do what they self-discover. And we teach you the 3 best ways that they do that, which is stories, questions, and experientially. And you would have needed to help me understand that Keller Williams is a company that believes I'm the brand, and their job is to support me in building the biggest brand I can possibly build with no limits. That was my biggest value gap, right? But you could never have known that, and you would have been trying to sell and tell me, which is the wrong way to do it. We also show you all the wrong ways that people are recruiting that you need to stop immediately. And sell and tell is the main one. Don't do it. It doesn't work, and it just is slimy, and you don't feel good, and it don't work anyway. So that's what I mean by what is their value gap. Don't sell them on what you think it should be. Don't leave this profit share meeting and think profit share is what they're going to be excited about. Profit share is way on down the list. We will give you all the things that most people are most attracted to. Number 1 is training. And so, but training is a big step. And so until you build that relationship deep and create beholdenness and reciprocity, if you ask somebody to do a big step, you just happenstance, they might do it. But if you built the relationship deep, then you ask them to go on a big step, like attend some of your training or shadow you when you prospect or go on a listing presentation with you, all the things I'm going to teach you how to do to use that 24 we're already using, then they're more likely to say yes, because you've created beholdenness and reciprocity. So we teach you all the things that you can use to drop in their value gap. And then what we do is once a month, anybody who does this, once a month, you can jump on a live call and you can say, hey, Linda, I have this person. Here's what I've done so far. I'm stuck. Can you help me? And we're going to keep you moving along, because we need people to understand this is not complicated. But if you don't keep at the top of your mind and you don't know exactly what to do, when we don't know what to do, I always say we've spent all these years teaching everybody what not to do about recruiting, but we've never bothered to teach them what to do. And so that we're going to teach you what to do, so that your relationships are deep enough that people are real clear that you're the reason they're joining Keller Williams, and your team leader job gets so much easier because you've been doing this along the way, right? You're not just throwing a bunch of names at them that you kind of know. So I want to respect your opportunity to ask questions. And this always helps me because I give this message so many times, at least probably twice a week, that I always say, did I say that part? Did I not say that part? So what I want you to do is say, oh my gosh, this is great, Linda. I could use this. And I'm thinking of somebody I could use this with. And I know we're not supposed to say, but so say, and X, whatever your X is my question. And maybe I didn't fill in a gap that you need, or maybe I didn't cover something that I think I've covered that I've covered a million times.
Linda, what's the T?
The T is for time. And here's the bad thing. The time is, see, that's why I need y'all to do this, because I didn't even tell you what time meant. But time is this. Only they get to decide how long it takes. And when you take that off the table and understand that we're not good enough to make a buyer buy, seller sell, or an agent join. So you just take that completely off the table. It takes away, I think I'm doing something to someone, and it puts it all in their court. They will join Keller Williams when they believe Keller Williams has what they need to take their businesses and life to the next level. And that's what we're going to teach you how to get them to do, right? My longest recruit, you'll love this, has taken 12 years. But here's the thing. I'm going to be here now, and I'm going to be here 12 years from now. So however how long it takes doesn't matter to me, right? So that's what we want you to understand, is that's the one variable I can't control, but I can do my best to fill those value gaps and create enough beholdenness that it's in that second step where they experientially get to experience us as KW, that they really make the decision to join. If you ask almost anybody, they made the decision to join after they truly experienced, unless they had a pain up front, they experienced a little bit of who we were and whatever it was that attracted them.
It's amazing.
So that's kind of, so thanks for bringing that up, because I did forget the part about time. But what other questions do you have about any piece or part of the formula that I can help you with? Because you could go out tomorrow and start doing some of this. And I encourage you to, because profit share is such an amazing gift. You know, in part of the section that we have in the course, my son teaches his new agent thing. He likes new agents. New agents suck the life out of me, so I don't do them. I do mega agents, or what we call untouchables. Those are people that you look out in the marketplace and nobody thinks they have a darn need because they look perfect. Nobody's perfect. Everybody's got needs. But I don't like to do new agents because I get so exhausted thinking about what they don't know. I want to hook a hose from my head to theirs, and that's not possible. So my son does all the new agents, and he put together a website, and he teaches people in this course how he did that part of it. And we've got one student that has been his friend since he was 3. He got into real estate, doesn't sell a lot of real estate, but he works this plan with that my son put together. And what he does is last year he made 6,000. He made 15. He made 6,000 last year, and then this year he made 15,000. And he's on target for 30,000, I think. I'll have to get his numbers right, but he's only been doing it 3 years. If you sit and just do the math on how much money he would have had to work and pay taxes and then have left over and put in the bank, and what it would have to earn him as a percentage that's not possible right now to have that kind of money, it will make you realize we have to move the value of this gift we have of profit share way up on our list, guys. You don't have to have any money. You don't have to go to the bank and ask them to loan. You don't have to have anything except use what you're already doing every day and what tools you have available to you at Keller Williams. So much of our validity, for those of you that are concerned about your validity, is things we have in Keller Williams that will increase your validity, and it will feel like your validity, even though it's a book that KW wrote or, stories inside KW. And so, I want to encourage everybody to realize this is not complicated. I'm a very simple person. And if we can do this, good Lord, anybody can do this.
No, I love that, Linda. I love how you're framing it as an investment opportunity. And what's fun about it is it's an investment, but you're actually creating opportunity for others at the same time that you're creating a income silo.
Oh, Jeff, thank you for saying that, because here's the things I always tell people. Look, I sold thousands of homes, thousands. And I never once had a buyer or seller look at me with tears in their eyes and say, thank you. Had a buyer. Now, they said best real estate transaction ever, and we'll call everybody we know and tell them to use you, but they never had tears in their eyes and said, you changed my life. And I'm going to tell you that I've had people with tears in their eyes say, thank you, you changed my life. And I'm going to encourage each and every one of you to ask, how has your life been changed by coming to KW? And if your life's been changed, who are we to decide that's enough lives? It is the way to get significance out of what we do. It is a way to get significance out of what we do. And so, I'm so convinced of this that I can preach it to the rooftop, because it's not that hard to do. It doesn't take a lot of stuff that most people don't have, like money to invest. And then I encourage you to build your profit share and then use that money to buy more investment properties. But this is not hard, and this will be super fulfilling in a way that selling more houses can't be.
Wow. That's powerful. Do we have questions from anybody?
Yeah, I'd love to answer questions, because that tells me, gaps that we've missed.
Oh, I'm good. Thanks, Donna.
I just want you to ask yourself, say, I would go out and start this tomorrow, but, and then where's the but? Is it, I don't know who to pick? Is it help me understand validity more? Is it, how do I figure out their value gap? Somebody, otherwise I'm going to assume you're all going to go out there tomorrow and start doing this. And then I'm going to get to hear these amazing, because how you repay me for my time, because Jeff, these guys didn't pay me to be here, but how you repay me is you tell me your great stories. We will write a book this year on the formula, because it's just been so powerful in my life. But the way you can repay me is you can tell me how the formula is working for you, but you got to go try it, or you won't be able to have those stories for me.
Steve Cooper in the chat says, how far afield do you cast your net?
Well, you mean outside of your area or town? What I do first is what I would say do first is let's go, it's like Walmart. Walmart started here and then he ink blotted out. The farther you go, even whether it's investing or doing real estate, the harder it is, unless you have relationships that are real far out. You're better to do it where you're doing your daily business every day. So I would say pick, if at all possible. Now, a lot of mine I did know across the country, because I had been doing a bunch of training at different seminars. I'm a seminar junkie. So I'd met a lot of people that way, but a lot of mine are inside my local area too. So pick what's closest to you first, because this is like a muscle. The more you work this, you're going to see opportunities that you didn't see yesterday. The more you work, I can spot a recruiting opportunity like you've never seen, because my muscle is so exercised on it that I just automatically do it. And here's the thing. Also, guys, look in your own database. And by the way, COVID has made a lot of people rethink what they're going to do. So pick up your phone. You need to probably call your database anyway. Call your database and ask them this. Have you ever thought about a career in real estate? If you're at the grocery store, a great script to use at the grocery store is, you might be good in my business. What do they have to ask you? What's your business? And you got two chances now. They either have been wanting to sell real estate, which unfortunately 95% don't say that. But the other thing they say is, well, my mother needs to sell her house. Win-win. You win either way. So I would say, 8 of my best agents in my Denton office, when I looked up one time, top agents were my past clients. And I'm going to tell you, I'd rather have a past client in my downline than at some other real estate company and not in my downline. So you got to start asking everybody, have they thought about a career in real estate? It's a great way to start a conversation. It's a great compliment.
Hey, Linda, can you spend one more second on when you were talking about value gap? You were talking about no sell and tell. So it kind of got bunched up, but there was some really good stuff right there.
Okay. All right. So let me just practice with you. Can I call you, will you go by Ed or Edward?
Eddie.
Eddie. Okay. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, Eddie, this is Linda. How are you? Linda McKissack.
Hey, Linda, I'm doing well. How are you? I'm
doing fantastic. Hey, I just wanted to take a minute and tell you and thank you and tell you how much I appreciated you co-broken 123 Main Street with me. Your responsiveness and your willingness to get in there and get things solved was so refreshing. And I just want to take a minute and just tell you how much I appreciated that and how much I thank you for being on the other side with me on that deal.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. Thanks for that, Linda. You made it quite easy yourself. So, when we can get to a win-win for our clients, it's always a great day.
Isn't that so true? Hey, Eddie, while I have you on the phone, I really respect you. And I'm just curious, COVID has been a crazy year, right? What has been some of the biggest challenges and gaps you've had in your business with COVID? Is it caused any gaps or issues with your business that are challenges now? I know for me, what's been really hard is having to shift gears and, do everything we used to do in person now on Zoom.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking when you asked that question. I think it's just the difference from being able to be face to face with people, which I love to do, which is why I'm in this business. And we had to shift that a lot to people can't come into the office. They have to follow you instead of ride with you. So you have less opportunity to get to know them and really have that kind of face to face interaction. So that's probably the biggest.
Yeah, absolutely. What about listings? Have those been hard for you guys I know that was a great listing that I sold for you over there. So I know you got some good listings, but listing inventory has been kind of short. Has that been an issue for you guys too, or?
Yeah, listing inventory is real low for us. And then we've got the sellers that don't really want or don't feel comfortable with a bunch of people coming into their house because of COVID, which I naturally understand, but that's been kind of a challenge as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, hey, Eddie, I don't want to take up a bunch of your time. I just want to say, how much I appreciate you and thank you. And I hope that you and I can do another deal again real soon.
Absolutely. I've got about 32 listings you can sell for me. So bring the buyers.
All right. Thank you, Eddie. Appreciate it. Now, second call I give to Eddie could be 3 or 4 days, could be a week away, but I'm going to have written down something that is what I think might be something that would be beneficial to Eddie. And so there's a form somewhere, and I got to remember where this is, but there's a form that says there's only 2 ways to get business, and it lists all the different ways if you're prospecting and all the different ways if you're marketing. And I just use this sheet because anybody who's interested in more business probably hasn't thought about a few of these things on this sheet. And so next call, ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, Eddie, this is Linda McKissack. How are you?
Hey, Linda, I'm good. You?
Doing great. Hey, I was thinking about it real quick. I was thinking about our conversation the other day. And one of the things that we talked about is a shortage of listings. And one of the things that's really been helping me lately is I pulled out an old form that I'd had before that I'd forgotten about. And it has all the different mini sources of business on it. And I realized there's lots of different sources that used to be really good for me that I haven't worked in a while. And I know you had said that was an issue that you had too. And I don't know if you'd be offended or not, but I'd love to share that with you. Would that be something you'd be interested in?
Oh, wow. Yeah, I wouldn't be offended at all. That'd be amazing.
Awesome. Well, I've got a couple options. I don't know how you are right now with COVID. Sometimes I like to get out and go over there to Starbucks on Central because they let you have a bunch of good outside seating. So I can either meet you there and give that to you, or I'll be happy just to email that over to you. And if you feel comfortable meeting because of COVID over a cup of coffee or something, I'll kind of share with you which ones I've discovered recently that have actually we've started to revisit and what we're doing with them. Which would you prefer?
Both, if possible. I mean, I know that you've done it in the past. It sounds like you've had some experience with that. So I'd love to get the email, and I'd be honored to sit down and have a cup of coffee with you and pick your brain.
Okay, great. I'll email that. I'll have my assistant email that in the next 30 minutes. And how about, can we do Thursday afternoon at about 2:00? I always need a coffee pick me up about 2:00.
Yeah, you and I both. Yeah, that'd be great.
All right, sounds good. Look forward to it. See you then, Eddie. Have a great day.
Thank you so much.
I want
Bye.
you guys to pick up on something. Number one, I always use a compliment and an input and ask for their input. Sometimes I do both. Sometimes I just do one or the other. And you notice I never said Keller Williams or KW. And I don't even tell them that Keller Williams is where the form came from. And if I'm trying to invite them to a class, I don't talk about a Keller Williams class. We have Keller Williams people to death. We got to stop it. And by the way, this is not about Keller Williams right now. Who is this about?
Them.
Them.
Yeah.
And only them. Because remember, I'm not good enough to make them join. And I can't. So it can't be about Keller Williams. It has to be about me giving to another person and moving them along and creating beholdenness so they can get to a bigger step. And at the bigger step, they may or may not self-discover that KW is where they need to be to meet all the goals that they have. But until they do that self-discover, I'm just going to have to keep repeating this pattern until they do self-discover. Does that make sense? Was that helpful to kind of run through one? Yeah.
So awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. What else? What other things do you need to know?
Really quick question with that one, Linda. The immediate thought that comes to my mind, if I'm Eddie, is, Linda, if that list has been so great, how come you're not using them and why are you sharing them with me?
Okay. That's fantastic. Awesome. Well, here's the thing. Now I'm probably going to have some on there that I do use. In other words, I'm going to have good information. I'm not tricking him. This is where you're going to have to fill in what you're doing, right? I'm going to truly share something that's working for us or that I've either used in the past that I actually have information about. Because two things you can't fudge on: the compliment you give them, it has to be genuine and real. And the information I give them has to be genuine and real. None of this is made up stuff. So I'm just giving you an example. So I might, in that case, I might say, well, here's the thing. Most people don't really care why you're doing it, but let's go ahead and prepare and say, Eddie asked me, well, why are you willing to share this with me? And, my answer to that, and this is my true answer to that, is, let me just tell you, Eddie, I've gotten where I've gotten in life by people who have been my peers that have worked together with me and collaborated with me. Together, I think we're both going to achieve more. I just don't come from the belief that if I win, you got to lose. And I'm sure you feel the same way, don't you, Eddie? And I'm just going to turn it right back into a question. Now, here's the thing. I'm glad whoever asked that, who asked that?
Dave.
Okay, Dave, I'm glad you asked that because you made me think of something. It's kind of like a listing presentation. When you're going to go on a listing presentation, you have to know the worst thing that they could say to you so you're prepared for it, right? So I'm going to go ahead and tell you the worst thing someone could say to you, and let's just get that out on the table. If Eddie had said to me, well, Linda, you're just trying to recruit me. Here's what I would say. First thing I'm going to do is think, okay, have I gotten off of Linda's formula? Because Linda's formula is not about recruiting you. It's about building a relationship. The relationship recruits you. The discovery of what KW has to offer recruits you, not Linda. And I'm a good salesperson, but I'm not that good. None of us are. So the first thought is, if you get that from somebody, you better stop and ask yourself, okay, have I gotten excited and started selling KW and saying KW? If that's the case, don't do that anymore. Now, if you haven't been in it, you say, I swear, Linda, I promise I've stuck to the formula. Okay, that's great. Then it probably means that either you did it wrong in the past, and we show you all the ways that we've done it wrong in the past, or someone else in KW has tried to poke KW down people's throats before. Doesn't matter. Those two don't matter. You can't control them. The only one you can control is to ask yourself, have you gotten off my formula? So if you swear you haven't, or even if you have, then here's what I want you to say to you. And I'm sorry, who was it that asked me that question again? David?
Dave, yes.
Dave. Okay. So Dave, here's the thing I know for sure. You're exactly the kind of agent that I want to be in business with, that I like being in the same company with. But here's what I know for sure, Dave. If you ever believe that what you need to take your business and your career to the next level can be better served here at KW, dude, I won't have to recruit you. You'll be knocking our door down. And then I'm going to go right back to talking about what we were talking about before you said that. See how I just take the wind out of that? It's no different than if someone says to you, why should I choose you in the real estate business? The worst thing you can do is start tap dancing and selling.
Yeah.
And that's what we're inclined to do. And that's what we want to do. But instead, what we should do is say, well, actually, in my experience, one of three things could happen here this evening. You may see the benefits of listing your home with the McKissack Group, and that'd be amazing. 2, you may not see the benefits of listing your home with the McKissack Group, and that would be awful. Or number 3, you may have a need or an expectation that I don't feel like we can meet or exceed. And if we get to that point, I'd rather let you down now than disappoint you later. So I'm already ready for anything I'm going to get that is going to cause me to tap dance or start selling. The last thing we want to do is start selling. And here's the thing, I make people bring up Keller Williams twice before I'll even send them. Now, mine are existing people. If it's a new agent, get their booties to the team leader as fast as possible. They have just spent a bunch of money and they're in pain. They need to make $1. So get them as fast as you can. But if it's an existing agent that the team leaders worked on and people have never gotten, it's going to take more time. And I make them bring up Keller Williams twice to me before I'll ever move them along the rail, because don't get excited and think that, oh, I think they might buy it, so I'm gonna start selling Keller Williams. Don't get off this plan. Does that make sense?
It does. Thank you.
Yeah. What else? Anybody else got one?
You might drop that one, Linda.
Yeah,
that was
chat.
super
Lori
helpful.
asked, what's the best way to approach other agents?
Oh, what's the best way to approach other agents? Look, so let's talk about that. It's a good question. So let's say I'm going to help you pick your 5. What I would do is look at who I've had a cross deal with. Who do you kind of think would be a good fit for KW? Look on Facebook and look for commonalities. One girl that I called on one time, I saw that she was a real estate investor, like I'm a real estate investor. So I use that commonality. Look on Facebook. If somebody's got a dog, like a dog you've got, just find something to start a conversation. And then this will become easier and more natural for you as you do it. So, but the beginning 5 might be hard, but remember, I want to go a few above my production, a few at my production, a few below my production. And then I'm going to look and put them on a whiteboard in front of you. Don't just leave them, in your mind, put them in front of you. So you're reminded to look for opportunities. And then what happens is you start seeing, like, here's a perfect example. One of the girls that I had on my board last year, she had this cute dog. And I knew her problem was she was doing about 130 transactions by herself. She had no life. She'd even voiced that to me. So when I was teaching business planning and I looked down on the first page and it talks about all the reasons why people doesn't hire someone. And one of them was, they think no one can do it better than them. I circled that and took a snapshot and texted it to her. Well, she replied immediately. But then later I took a picture of her cute dog that was on Facebook. I didn't. I had my assistant do it because I have no idea how to do it. And I had them snapshot that picture and frame it and send it to her. And I said, look, I know sometimes we get so busy that we don't stop to do the important things. And this darn dog is just so cute. I couldn't resist but send you this picture so you'd have it for your desk. What would you do if you were trying to cultivate any relationship? And I'm a giver, so I always give. I have a good friend named Joe Polish, and he says, life gives to the giver and takes from the taker. And it's so true. So I don't worry about what I'm going to get. I just start giving. And it's so fun. It's just a blast. I love it. But, those kind of things will get easier the more you do it.
Y'all remember, this isn't trick and trap.
No, not at all. And by the way, if you even start to feel that way, ask yourself, what are you doing? Something's wrong. Something's wrong. And remember, you're not good enough to make anybody join. So we're not doing anything to people. We're doing something for someone. Someone changed your life. Someone changed my life by bringing me to KW. And I'm forever grateful.
Mm-hmm. Whew, it's good. Somebody brought the heat today.
Yeah. Can you tell I'm passionate about it? Hey, while I'm thinking about it, for those that are interested, the text in number is 33444, 33444. If somebody will put this in chat for us. And type in the word inform, INFORM, in all caps. If you'll text that, it will actually ask you for your email and it'll put you on a wait list so you know exactly when we launch the Profit Share Mastery course. And what'll happen is once you'll be able to go through the class, and what we want you to do, you'll have it forever. So you can go back through it if you get stuck or you get excited and you want to go back through it, because this is the way I like to do it. It's what I've learned about what I like to do. I don't want to have to wait. This week I go through this section. I get it all. You get it all. Go through it as fast as you want to go through it. And then about every 3 to 4 weeks, we'll do a live call, and you can jump on those calls and say, Linda, I'm stuck. I've got my 5 people, or I can't get my 5 people, or I've got my 5 people. Can you help me? What we want to do is keep this process moving as you're actually out in the world trying to do it. And so I can see a situation and help you real quick, figure out what you need to do next. So that'll come to you, and that'll be automatic for anybody that does so you got to text to the number 33444. So make sure you put that number in, Alex. Yeah, 33444. That's it.
What that number was.
Yeah, sorry. I know. I talk fast, don't I?
No, that's fine.
So
this has been amazing. So Linda also offers a wealth building class. I think it's a day-long class. Is that correct, Linda?
yeah, pretty much we can do. It's about 3/4 of a day, not like a dreadfully long day.
So I think the best.
I finished up my one with Oklahoma at about 2:30 or something like that.
Okay.
2 or 2:30, I can't remember.
So would drive people, if interested, should go to the 33444. And
Well, this will, well, here's the thing. No, let me give them, this is only if you're interested in the profit, knowing when the profit share course launches. If you're interested in anything else, or just hearing when we do anything else, then you're going to text to the same number, 33444, the word freedom number together as one word. And it doesn't have to be caps, freedom number. And what that's going to do is 2 things. And I'm glad you said this, because everybody needs to start with, what's my freedom number? Let's start there. And then we can figure out how we're going to get there. So you'll get that form. They'll trade you that form for your email. And then once your email's in my system, anything I do moving forward, if it's a wealth building seminar, if it's anything, you'll get notification of it. Yeah. Freedom, FREEDOM. Yep. Freedom number. That's right. So freedom number is just going to get you in my system. Inform is going to get you to be notified next week when the profit share course is ready.
Absolutely amazing. I think, yeah, then unless there's anything else you need to add, I think we should release her into the wild. She's got lives to change. And then
Hey, y'all, I'm doing something that's big on my goal sheet. I haven't told anybody this yet. I have a big want, and that is to have our own plane, because I have to go to Ohio all the time, San Diego. I want to go where I want to go when I want to go there. And a friend of mine taught me a long time ago, if you don't, your heirs will. I'm sure my kids wouldn't want to hear this. So we are really looking hard into getting a plane so I can go wherever I want to, when I want to. So I'll say a prayer that if it's meant to be, this will all work out. That's where I'm headed next. So super excited and can't wait to see what works out.
it's incredible. Thank you so much. If you guys,
But here's the thing, if I can do this, and there isn't a single one of you guys that cannot do this, please don't look at my outsides and compare your insides. I still have limiting beliefs every day about stuff.
Yep.
Limiting beliefs are normal. It's to make your life big, you have to do courageous commitments, ones that scare the crap out of you, ones that make you pee your pants when you commit to them.
Yep.
But you just go ahead and do the thing with the wet pants. That's how you get a big life in the end. And it takes time, but you got to start right now. And please don't look at where we are today and think this is where we've always been. Just understand what I'm trying to get you to start doing, get you to whatever your big life looks like.
That's incredible. Thank you. Big thank you from Asheville, North Carolina. You absolutely amazing, Linda. Thank you.
I need your stories. If the formula works for you in any way, your business or your profit share, please, I need your stories. That's how you repay me.
That's incredible. Awesome. Thank you so much. Woo! I think there's a way to do emoji class.
Thank you. Thank you guys. My pleasure.
Awesome. All right, y'all. I appreciate everybody taking some time. We've got, let me share some screen here. Alex, can you share screen or do I have to do that? Is it possible? Are you listening, Alex? Or not? It's like, okay, cool. I'm going to share screen here. All right. You guys see this? Okay. All right. Dawn, who we got? Equity Task Force. Can we get a quick Equity Task Force update? No. Someone. Kelsey, I saw you on here. Are you still on here? Just a no. Do we have anybody from the Equity Task Force or no? No? This is like a really awkward pause. No?
I'm on the task force. I don't have an update though. I know we've been continuing to work and meet, but I actually wasn't able to meet during the last meeting, so I don't have an update.
Gotcha.
Okay, you broke the silence though.
Yeah, you broke the silence. That's good. So we had an equity meeting yesterday. I think the biggest thing that we were focused on yesterday, I was trying to let somebody else do it, but we're reaching out and recruiting people that may have interest in the particular activities that we're doing. So we're obviously we've done some fundraising for REAP. That's something you can add to your closing statement or to your closing disclosure. We're also reaching out in the community with as far as the events. We're talking about real estate. We're amazing. We're doing lots of education and such. So if you have interest in that, please do reach out and get involved at the committee level. We'll continue to push that stuff out. And we're kind of a forefront of the country in our initiatives. So I'd love to have any input that or involvement that we can get from the agent base. It's been pretty darn cool. All right. Next, I think I'm not screen sharing anymore, but that's okay. 210 home warranty. Dawn, are you on here?
Yes, I am here.
Hey, Dawn. I'm having a Zoom issue. I'll screen share and then take it away.
Awesome. Well, so I just want to say happy 2021. I'm super excited for all that we have to look forward to this year. 2020, though it had a lot of challenges, turned out to be just an awesome real estate year and awesome business year. So I'm very appreciative of your support, and the slides mostly are thank yous. I always like to highlight how much we've paid out in claims. I believe off of the top of my head that, yeah, okay, so December was almost $10,000 in claims. I think that just shows we're really taking care of your clients and paying those claims, you know, as they happen. So if you're worried, hey, I recommended this warranty, do they take care of my clients? Yes, we are doing our very best to make sure your clients are satisfied with the warranty.
That's awesome.
Long list of names that I am uber appreciative for, both in November and December. I didn't get to see y'all last month, but thank you so much. I always like to highlight that Happy Home Lock and Hardware. If you sold a warranty in the last 45 days, reach out to your clients and remind them that they have $100 on the table. All they have to do is get online to their homeowner portal, submit that receipt, and we're going to reimburse them up to $100. It's a great reason to make the phone call. And I love sharing stories where clients have engaged with the warranty and seen value in it because of that reimbursement.
That's awesome. I'm trying, Dawn. I told you.
It's all good. The next slide is just a thank you with all the names who supported 210 in 2020. I just really want you to know that, you know, this is a relationship business, and I genuinely appreciate your partnership. If there's a way that I can serve your business in 2021, maybe just answering questions or being of support to you, obviously, you know, feeding my family by selling warranties is what I'm about. But, you know, you build a relationship by trust. So I want you to know that I'm here for you and your clients should they have any needs, questions, whatever I can do to be of service to you. The last couple of slides are related to annual planning and just risk management. I won't take a lot of time reading over them. I know the slides will get mailed out, or I think they will. But there's basically 4 ways to stay out of warranty jail, or excuse me, real estate jail. And one of them is recommending the warranty. So if you're not using the warranty in your business, I would love to talk to you about how to give you scripts or, you know, just have some role play. You know, I think that risk mitigation is something that everybody kind of doesn't want to talk about, but nobody wants to get caught, you know, unprepared. So if you have questions about how the warranty can serve that piece of your business, managing risk and helping to make sure that you're in compliance with E&O, I'm always eager to talk to you. We can have a virtual one-on-one. I can meet you for coffee, whatever is your comfort level. But know that warranties aren't just making you look good because we're paying claims. It's also covering your butt should you ever have to deal with an E&O claim. So
That's awesome. Cool. All right. Let's see. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. What is happening?
I hope y'all have a great week, and I look forward to seeing everybody soon in person without a mask. I'll warn you, I'm a hugger, so if we ever do get vaccinated, I'm coming to give out a hug.
That's awesome. Cool. Thank you, Don. Next, let's see. What do we have next? I am so sorry. All my.
Do you need me to do this, Jeff? I'm sorry. I just got your thing. 1 second. I got it.
Got the perfect Zoom update timing. Sorry about that. All right. Next thing is, can you all see the screen or no? No.
No, I'm working on it. It's loading.
Yeah. Right. Let's try. I wanted to introduce, first of all, I wanted to thank everybody for last year's ALC. We had, last year was good. I mean, it was challenging. I get it. But there was a lot of successes that came out of last year. And I think that we're all, if you pass anybody that was on the 2020 ALC committee, please say a thank you to them, because there's a lot of grit in 2020, especially from our agents and our leadership team trying to cover those gaps to make sure you guys were taken care of. We were fundamental as a ALC group and doing things like adjusting the commission split and like all those things that we were talking about with the ownership group. And those are the representatives of your different committees. So please do a thank you if you see those people in the market center. So for 2021, I want everybody to welcome our new Agent Leadership Council. We've got Libby Rogers, got Valeria, Natalie, Melissa, Alona, Brad and Steve, Carla, Adam Reed, and Tim Johnson. I couldn't be more excited. We've got some new faces, never been on ALC before. We've got Brad. I don't know, how many times have you been on ALC? I'm surprised you're not allergic to it at this point. Long time. And then we've got Libby from Weaverville, just a lot of new faces. So excited to have y'all. And I want to thank everybody for agreeing to do the ALC and move the Market Center forward. Is that the last slide?
Yep.
Cool. All right. I know that was wordy. We went a little bit over with Linda, but she's got so much gold, I didn't want to cut her off. I think it's 2021. Get out of your rear view mirror. There's a reason it's so small and your windshield's so big. I look forward to seeing you guys at all the training. Try and hit intentional conversations if you're looking at how to start conversations or how, as far as the scripting goes. We're doing that on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8. And then we're working on a really specific training calendar based off of where you are in your business. We've segmented the calendar and we'll be rolling that out. So depending on where your business is, you'll be able to click a link that will only show you the classes that may be relevant to where you are in the business. So big thank you and shout out to all the leadership staff that have been working on that. There's a lot of white noise with Keller, right? A lot of classes and you don't know what to do. We got resources, but that can be at a fault sometimes. So I'm super excited about these customized calendars, and you should see that rolling out very soon. So go do good things in the world, and we'll see you at the next meeting.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks, guys.
Bye, everybody.